Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Rolene Marks. This is the Israel Brief brought to you by Lay of the Land, where you come for your top stories making headlines every Monday to Thursday. And thank you, everybody, for all your advice how to deal with a sinus infection. I am feeling a little bit better, still not in the clear. And thank you for your well wishes. I really do love our Israel Brief community. So let's take a look at the top stories. And as we speak, the hearings at The Hague for the case brought against Israel by South Africa with the accusation of genocide is underway. Now, before the hearing started, pro-Palestinians and pro-Israel demonstrators gathered outside The Hague to signify the various support or which side they are supporting. So let's take a look at some of the comments made by the extremely overinflated South African legal team in The Hague today. I mean, I wonder who's footing the bill. Personally, I think it's Iran. But hey, South Africans, is this what your tax money is going towards? I don't think people are too happy about that. While South Africa considers itself now the global moral conscience, there is not a full consensus in the country or in the government amongst all political parties that this case against Israel is the right way to go. So let's look at some of those comments, and a variety of lawyers have addressed the 15-judge panel. To say that it has been a litany of inaccuracies and lies is an understatement. It seems South Africa has forgotten that Israel withdrew from the Gaza Strip in 2005 and that Hamas is fully responsible for what happens inside the Gaza Strip. And on the subject of Hamas, I have yet to hear one of the legal team mention Hamas or how this war started in the first place. The opening barrage of comments started in 1947 with the accusation that this has been 76 years. What is on trial here? The war with Hamas or Israel's right to exist? South African lawyers have said that they have a duty to report on genocide, but I can't help wonder, what about genocides in the rest of the world? Or is it only because your allies, and by this I mean General de Gaulle of Sudan, who was hosted by President Ramaphosa last week, he the ex-leader of the Janjaweed militia that raped and mutilated tens of thousands, in fact hundreds of thousands of Sudanese and caused them to flee, or maybe South Africa missed out on what's happening in Ukraine, but we know that South Africa sides with Russia there, or they've forgotten what happens in Iran, but of course we know that South Africa is bankrolled by Iran. Or maybe they've forgotten the Uyghur Muslims in China, but we know that South Africa is an ally of China. So for me, this is not just a blood libel, this is a lesson in abject hypocrisy. South Africa has entered into evidence some of the utterances by far-right lawmakers in Israel, as well as some of the social media footage taken by soldiers who are duly reprimanded by the army for posting anything irresponsible. Now, while the lawyers have said that comments like "remember what Amalek did to you," which is a biblical reference, and it's not a call for revenge, what it is a reminder to Jews to remember how we have been treated by those who have wanted our destruction since time immemorial. That was entered into evidence, as well as comments by Defense Minister Gallant and National Security Minister Ben-Gvir. Now, it's all very well entering these comments, but one could also say that the comments shoot the Boer, one settler, one bullet, which is said routinely at rallies in South Africa, could also be construed as genocidal. Am I right, Julius Malema? As you can see, I am more than a little angry at this. Now, Israel will provide our side of the argument tomorrow with our evidence arguing for the Israel side will not be an overinflated legal team with each person seeking international relevance. We will have Professor Malcolm Shaw. Joining South Africa's delegation is Jeremy Corbyn. Jeremy Corbyn is on record as saying that he considers Hamas and Hezbollah two terror entities backed by Iran whose intent is to wipe Israel off the map as his friends. An Israeli jurist today said he anticipates that the panel will not tell Israel to stop the war, but might suggest letting in more aid or an investigation to take place, or maybe even that residents from the northern Gaza Strip be able to return there. I was on radio very early this morning in South Africa where the host accused Israel of deliberately killing and starving Palestinians. So that just goes to show some of the sentiment out there. The United States State Department spokesperson, the White House spokesperson, Secretary of State Blinken, the Special Envoy of Anti-Semitism in Canada, Professor Erwin Kotler, the United Kingdom Foreign Secretary David Cameron have all said that this case is completely without merit. Israel's former Prime Minister Naftali Bennett has called it the Dreyfus affair of our times. If we go back to the early 20th century, Alfred Dreyfus put on trial, made to be the scapegoat. In France, it was a legendary legal trial, a legendary trial which prompted one Theodor Herzl to write about what he called Alt Neuland, the Old New Land, and perhaps a return to our ancient and ancestral homeland, the State of Israel. Meanwhile, the army have announced that they found a tunnel. This was announced by the IDF chief spokesperson Daniel Hagari last night. Admiral Hagari said they had found a tunnel in Khan Yunis where it is believed that hostages were kept under horrific conditions. And finally, the United Nations Security Council have unanimously passed a resolution condemning attacks by Houthi rebels on the shipping routes in the Red Sea. Oh, I tell you, being sick is not easy. It's got to get my tongue around some words. And that's it for today. Please don't forget to check out our website at www.layoftheland.online, our YouTube channel at The Israel Brief, our Facebook page at Lottel's site, and our Twitter page or our X page at Lay of the Land 5. I'm Rolene Marks, wishing you a wonderful weekend. Shabbat Shalom. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And I'll take care of you next week with your top stories. Bye for now.